What are you already here on this Tuesday morning? Let's quickly get into the final news headline bulletin and the programme. The High Court in Pietermaritzburg will sit today to consider remaining pre-trial matters in the corruption case involving former President Jacob Zuma and French arms company Thales. The court is expected to finalise outstanding matters and set a trial date. Meanwhile, the State Capture Commission of Inquiry has filed an urgent application at the Constitutional Court calling for Zuma to be jailed for 2 years unless he agrees to testify. The Commission wants the former president to be jailed for contempt after he defied a Constitutional Court ruling compelling him to appear before Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo last week. Now let's cross over to Jayed-Leigh at the Pietermaritzburg High Court. Jayed, a very, very good morning to you. Let's get an understanding of what should we expect today at the Pietermaritzburg High Court. I believe you've also got an analyst who's in the law that can explain exactly what's about to unfold.
Well, a very good morning to you, Leanne, and to the viewers. I think all eyes are on the Pietermaritzburg High Court today, especially in light of the fact that the former President Jacob Zuma has been in the spotlight over the recent weeks. We saw that happening when he had a tea party at his homestead in Nkandla, inviting EFF leader Julius Malema for that meeting. Still not sure what exactly took place there, but also having MKVA stationed outside his Nkandla homestead as well. And that's all with regards to fighting against him going to testify at the Zondo Commission. So the former president really has been in the spotlight, and I'm sure everyone wants to know, is the trial date being set today? I can tell you that there aren't any supporters here at the High Court. It's fairly quiet compared to previous years where we've seen an influx of people, thousands of people coming to throw their solidarity and support behind former President Jacob Zuma, as well as big heavyweights such as Zandile Gumede and several stalwarts in the ANC pledging their support. So at the High Court at the moment, very quiet. I'm also told that the Jacob Zuma Foundation has issued out a statement saying that the former president will not be appearing today. He has filed an application not to appear, so the trial will be happening in his absentia. But from today, we are expecting that that trial date will be set. Talks are that it's going to be set for the 17th of May. There were talks that today we would hit the ground running, but this was actually a provisional date, the 23rd of February. Just to talk more about what exactly is happening behind the scenes and also why we've seen several delays in this trial, I am joined by Mpumelelo Zikalala. He is an attorney and he'll be unpacking it for us. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Zikalala. Several delays on the cards. We saw last year the case of the trial only sitting for 3 cases. Why is this? Is this due to COVID-19, or are these in particular due to that application from Thales and the several issues around that application?
Two main issues. Firstly, the application from Thales, it had to be dispensed with first, and after a judgment has been issued by this particular court and they've given us a statement saying that they're not appeal, then it means that they are now ready to proceed to the main trial. Second one, you need to dispense with the pre-trial proceedings, meaning that there needs to be confirmation from both the parties that statements have been exchanged, affidavits have been exchanged, consultations with witnesses have also been done so that they are ready to hit the ground running. Confirmation from both parties saying that they are ready must be received and confirmed by this court, and dates must be allocated. We must also remember, you can't just allocate one date for the trial that is this big and this magnitude. It needs to be several dates, hence you need the availability of all the counsels that are involved in this matter.
Now, just looking at those charges, he is facing 16 charges, that being former President Jacob Zuma, looking at fraud, corruption, racketeering. If we look at the racketeering charge, we did see Thales going to court as well, trying to get that charge off the charge sheet, subsequently also failing in their bid. Do you think that's also going to have an impact, or is it going to play in favor of the state's case?
It plays in favor of the state's case. You must remember that the racketeering charge is more of a technical charge, meaning that it's legislated. It's much easier to prove if you have all the elements, or all the elements are there. Hence, once you've ticked all the boxes, it's easy to say yes, a particular transaction took place, and yes, indeed, it was against the law as per the applicable legislation. Hence, the judgment which was against Thales probably was in favor of the state case. However, it doesn't mean that they must rest. You must remember that they still have the burden of proof which is beyond reasonable doubt, meaning that there must be no other explanation other than the explanation or the submissions they are going to make in court that will be able to prove that indeed something unlawful or unlawful acts did take place.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, it's going to be a very interesting one, and I think that that's very true. Former President Jacob Zuma has been punting that these are just allegations against him, that it's unfounded, that him and Thales were in corruption charges. You would note, if you've been following the case over the years, 15 years this trial has been coming. It was dismissed or struck off the roll in 2005 by NPA head Sean Abrams, and then reinstated again those charges against former President Jacob Zuma. And today we will see whether that date will be set. I'm sure all eyes around the country are waiting in bated breath to see if the trial is going to commence on the 17th of May and whether the former President Jacob Zuma will be in court on that day. It's back to you in the studio, Leanne.
All right, Jayed-Leigh, thanks very, very much. We'll be crossing to Jade on SABC News throughout the day, including, no doubt, the agenda, which is up next. And Desiree Chalke